Raising a child has never been easy, but raising a child with special needs can be 5 times, 10 times, or even more harder, depending on how complex the needs of the child are. I have 3 kids, 12, 7, and 6. My older 2 are neurotypical, and my youngest one is autistic. And I think most of you will agree that once a child turns 4 or 5, your life becomes easier. They start becoming independent and you start to breathe again. But that's not the case with an autistic child. Your life takes a 180-degree turn once you learn that your child has autism. And after that, you can never have that life again. You can never be that same person again. And while parents are learning, adjusting, learning to navigate a world they were never prepared for, and also dealing with feelings of doubt, exhaustion, fear, it's the siblings who are quietly carrying their own weight, because their lives are not normal either. They sacrifice, they compromise hundreds of times. They give up activities, they give up moments, they give up attention, just because they know their brother or sister, they need more support. My older 2 kids, they play together, they talk to each other, they eat together, and honestly I sometimes don't even know where they are in the house. But with my autistic one, my special boy, I can't look away for a moment. No, not possible for me. Because his safety and his needs require constant attention. And that changes the rhythm of the entire household. My husband and my husband is very supportive, and we never really argue, knock on wood, but whenever we do, sometimes we do. So whenever we do, it is always something related to our special boy. I often tell my husband that you are not doing enough for my son. And he is like, you are too much focused on him and ignoring other things in the family and other kids. But I feel like I have to be this way because I can't help it. Because I have to be there for my son. As mother, I have no other option. So from my personal experience, I feel that autism does not just shape the life of a child, it touches the whole family. The demands for an autistic child, they drain everything. They impact mental health, marriages, lives of siblings, finances, and I think basically everything. That's why support matters so deeply. Support is not charity, it is community. And because no family should have to face that weight by themselves, I feel that it becomes a responsibility, a shared duty of the society to stand up for autistic kids and their families. Let me share a moment from my own journey that showed me just how much guidance and community we need. We moved from Ontario in 2023, and we already had a diagnosis from Ontario for my son when we moved here. But we needed it to be confirmed and reviewed by a specialist from BC. So after waiting weeks for the appointment, I still remember I was very happy on the day of the appointment with the pediatrician, and I was like, oh my God, we are going to have funding for my son. But after meeting that doctor, he said that, I will write down my observations, but you will not get funding. I have seen many families from different provinces get rejected. That was really discouraging. I didn't expect that. So from that, but God is great. Our application got approved and we got autism funding for my son. But from that experience, I felt that there is so much misinformation out there. If a specialist can misguide you, then who can you trust? And what about families who have language barriers, or families who don't understand the system, or families who don't simply understand autism or yet have not accepted autism. I feel for those families and their kids. This is why organizations like REACH, they are not just helpful, they are necessary. They guide families through confusing systems. They educate and encourage people from all kind of backgrounds to support their children, to open up about autism, because many of families, they don't accept it. They encourage the people to ask questions, to understand their rights, to understand their options, and get the support their children truly deserve. I remember when we moved from Ontario, I didn't know a single family with special child here. I felt alone. I didn't know who to ask for help, like who will understand me, or where should I will begin from. But a friend of mine, she introduced me to REACH, and I joined their group of 150 families. Can you believe that? Like one day you don't know anybody in a new province, and the other day suddenly you have a community of 150 families with you who understand you. That was life-changing for me. And then I also remember the very first event that REACH organized. It was Mother's Day event, and I met so many mothers with special needs children. And it may sound strange now, but till that day, I felt like it is only us, or maybe few other families who have autistic children. But that day, seeing so many families, it was like you are stepping into a whole new world, which is full of understanding and pure love. And like you feel like your heart can finally rest for a moment, because everyone around you, they exactly know how this journey feels like. Recently, my son's class teacher, she went on maternity leave, and all his support staff got changed too. So that triggered behavior issues in him. Like he was crying, he was showing tantrums. We had never seen him like that before. Like all the time he was crying, throwing food away. Watching him struggle, I felt really heartbroken. I felt like I cried for so many days. But then my husband and I, we started to think, like, what should we do? We want to help him with any ideas, strategies, what is happening at school, what can we do for him? So we did whatever we could do. We met with the principal a couple of times, we met with the staff, we sent them long emails with all the ideas we had in mind, but nothing changed. We felt really unheard, and at that point of time I shared it with Pindi. I wish she was here today. So I shared it with Pindi, and she connected me with Veena, who is a family school liaison from Popad. She educated me, she told me that, okay, this is what is fair to expect, this is like what you can do, these are your rights, right? So these are the steps we can do it in future. At that moment, like you start doubting yourself, because you are scared, we can't fight with schools and systems. You feel like, I don't know what I'm doing. So she educated me with that, and I felt that at that moment REACH helped me, provided me guidance and clarity, and stood up by my side like a family. I can never forget that, and thank you REACH for that. REACH is hoping to open an autism center where diagnosis, support and therapy would be all under one roof, and I think that would be very beneficial for families, because one of the hardest part of this journey is how scattered everything is. Like OT is in one place, ABA is in another place, and then speech therapy is in another place, and then coordinating everything with the school is another challenge. So you feel like, sometimes I feel like I'm a case manager, repeating my child's story to all the teens and different people who rarely talk to each other. So one autism center would definitely change that. I think it is a great initiative from REACH, and it will help the families to have teams who are not working in parallel but who are working towards the same goal, speaking the same language, and doing the same thing. So I wish good luck to REACH. Finally, I'll finish my speech by saying that families like mine, they can only stay strong if we have community standing with us. Autism is not a journey that any parent chooses, but we walk with love, courage and hope. And when organizations like REACH, they step in, that journey becomes a little lighter and a lot more hopeful. So thank you everyone for being here, for believing in families, believing in children, and believing that every child deserves a fair chance. Thank you.